Facebook. How's everybody doing? All right. Another Saturday, another weekend. So, what's new with everybody? What do you have going on? Can't talk today. If you're on, say hi. I'm so sorry. I normally do this Let's Talk with Miss Teez on Saturdays, and last Saturday I had to work, and then this Saturday I got the Clark family weekend getaway, so I just wanted to pop on here and say hello and bring you on. So, hi, Live. So, DJ Ozone tuning in. I got Sam. I'm trying to bring on. I had a struggle last time trying to get Oliver on. Now I see Oliver and I can't even get Sam on. But anyway, as I figure this out, I'm gonna keep talking. So happy weekend, everybody! Thank you so much for coming on to my live. We are at the wilderness in Wisconsin Dells. So if you ever heard of it, it's worth checking it out. So moving to Wisconsin, all I was worried about was the cold, right? But now we moved here, we are finding new things about this place, and we're loving it every day. There he is. Hey, cuz.
Well,
How was your day?
busy, but good.
I know you had that charter, so amu iyo e ka uma.
Well, let me close the balcony.
Let's see the room. Let's see the room. I know you always got like the coolest perks when you travel. Này ulo may odivet lang ulo. Well, anyway, so welcome to Let's Talk with Miss Teez. I'm not putting it on my page because every time I put it on my page, Facebook want to be funny. But we got some great topics to talk about. Well, not topics. Topic. We're going to talk about empowerment, not discouragement, right? Because many of us try to grow, and then there are people out there that tries to discourage you from growing. So we want to touch on that topic. And during our prep yesterday, as we just run through what we were going to talk about, we came up with some other stuff that I seen on TikTok, and Sam had some great takes on it. So I said, you know what? We might as well bring it. So hi, Auntie Nana. How's it going? So we're just going on live with my cousin Sam. And then I just want to do a disclaimer real quick. So what we're talking about is just our take, right? Perception is reality. This is our take on how we see things and how, but you know, I don't want nobody to take offense to anything that we're saying because we're just talking, you know? So, so our topic is empowerment, not discouragement, right, Sam? So, the biggest thing that we were talking about yesterday was I was reading Samoa News and doing with the new governor. Congratulations to him and his team, and he brought in some new groups of directors, and it's really nice to see some people that I know and some people that Sam knows that holding these big positions back home. So kudos to them. Kudos to Betty. If you're watching, congratulations to Lynn. Congratulations if you're watching. And Lisa, congratulations. You know, all love here. All love here. And then reading the news and just people bashing, you know, people, and that's not what we're about. We're all about empowering one another. Yes, bringing new people in and bringing change to our government. I think that's a positive thing. At the same time, people may see it on a different light. What you think, Sam?
Oh yeah, I mean it's hard for people to change, especially because our culture is so traditional. So they
Mm-hmm.
like to kind of stick to the old ways. Change has always been something that's hard for people to accept, and especially when you're having such a young group of individuals coming into the government at this time, especially during time of uncertainty. They don't know if they lack the experience or whatnot. I think it's a new lens that we can utilize for to go to different angles on how we can run our government and how we can kind of ensure that, i.e. funding, make sure funding is being used, correctly, um, making sure that the Senate is balanced out, the House, the funnel is balanced out, making sure that we don't utilize funds. We utilize funds where it needs to be utilized, especially like the hospitals. Like I know Moira, she's a big advocate for like the hospital and trying to make sure that funding is going there. Department of Education, making sure that the correct funding is going there. We had a drama with the the money that was given for COVID and how some of the senators were using it to kind of build their home offices or utilize it for lunches and things like, you know, it wasn't actually being used for the purpose of trying to prepare for COVID, which is one of the reasons why I feel that we had such a hard time in doing the reparation flights, because there was no funding available to start researching on how we should have started bringing our people home from the U.S. So this new change that's happening with this new government and with our new leaders, we need to pray for them. We need to be there for them, and we need to support them, and we need to see where they can take our government. It's not going to be a smooth ride. There's going to be bumps along the way. But I think as long as we give them the support and we empower them to do what they're supposed to do, I think that we'll have a great outcome with our government. I hope to see great things come forth with that.
Amen to that. Yeah, and that's very, very true, And I love seeing the fact that, like Lynn, right? I'm just gonna use her. I'm not calling out nobody. I only using her because I know her, and she's been in the military. She was stationed with her husband, and they retire and to go home. And it's nice to see people. Like I myself is planning to move back home. Not right now, but in the future, I plan to move back home, and support my mom and support my family, because as their generation moves on, as they move on, we have to, the next generations coming up needs to continue the legacy. So it's nice that she went home and worked for the government and utilized, because she's a very smart girl. She got a college degree, she wrote a book, and that's amazing, and I know the governor knew what he was doing when he handpicked her to take on this role. So that's why I'm like kudos to all the changes in the government. I hope and pray that all great things, So welcome everybody. Hello, hi Gloria. That baby need to pop out already. Hi Russ. No karaoke today. Your guy is out taking the kids to do laser tag while I'm on here doing my live. But hopefully that we'll get to continue that next weekend. Hello, Fotupe. Hello, and welcome. We're just talking. That's all it is. We're just talking. Everybody has a different take. Hi, Joanne. I see you, girl. And my brother Oliver's on here. Hello. So we're just talking, right? We're just talking on what we see leaving off island. You know, I grew up in American Samoa. Sam grew up in American Samoa, in Leone and in Utumea. So yeah, we have every right to talk about what's going on back home. You can't, can't have people say, well, you grew up and you live your whole life in the United States. I live my life in the United States, and just like Sam, and we go home every chance we get, and, go kualainga, and we take care from afar with plans to move back home. I don't know about Sam, what Sam got going on, but I'm pretty sure, with plans to move back home. But we're talking about the government, governor, what we have now, and just supporting the new people that's taking on these huge director roles. We're very happy, just empowering them and not discouragement, and I hate when I go on social media and someone's doing so well, and then you have this one person come on and just say something negative, try to be funny, and it's not funny. Like, what's funny about it? Like, you're trying to be the center of attention, you're trying to be the comedian. No, that's disrespectful. If someone's saying something to motivate someone else, so be supportive. Be supportive of that person. And me and Sam, I've been in the airline industry 14, this year will be 15 years, and Sam as well. And we kind of like follow each other in our career path, and we motivate one another. I pushed him, and he always encourages me, like, hey, I love what you're doing, and it makes me want to keep growing. And then I'm like, don't ever give up. Don't ever set yourself short, right? Because
Amen.
So I know we're searching from government to now our career. We don't want to dwell on one topic like the government. We just wish the new directors in American Samoa well.
Mm-hmm.
We want to see great things come from their leadership. If I was to give an advice, please work on our customer service.
Oh, yeah.
Service.
Oh, man.
We can't be labeled the happiest people in the South Pacific, and our customer service is horrible. Like, when I go home, I get so irritated that I can't even get the service that I need. So if we can work on customer service, and then if we can strengthen, with all the suicides going on back home, if they can work on programs to try and promote, put the word out that there's lifelines out there. There's ways that you can reach out and seek help, and that's not the answer to everything. All you're doing is hurting your family that loves you so much, and you leave behind heartaches, and people wondering, what could I've done different? So yeah, if we can like push for that, and push for like the DEAR program with all the drugs going on back home. And I'm not calling things out. This is what I hear, and this is what I see when I go back home that is bad. And I just like, those are like the primary things of what you read on paper too. You read that on the newspaper. So if it's put out like that, then yeah, it's for everybody to, it's out for everybody to read, out for everybody to have their take on it. But I'm not discouraging or anybody to like, why is she talking about that? I'm empowering you to do something, use your platform, and make a difference. What's your take, Sam? What's your take?
There are some minimal programs that are active right now, especially in Kukuila and Upolu. I know Big Girls Woke, program run by Maruseu, Doris Tulifao. They're big on that. They're a big advocate with suicides and also domestic violence out there. So that's a good program, for them to utilize until we get an actual solidified department set up in Kukuila where, like they have suicide hotlines and other things, domestic violence hotlines and things of all that sort, to provide services for the people that need it. I know it's very hard for Samoans to ask for help. You know, they kind of like to keep everything hushed under the rug. They want to keep family business within the family. But there are some issues and there are some matters that you need to get out of that traditional mindset of just keeping it under the rug, and you need to bring it out, because what's held in the dark will come to the light one way or another. And it might even cost a life, Yeah, Gloria, Samoans are prideful, very prideful people. And there's nothing wrong with having pride, but it's knowing where to have that pride at. And I think like there are certain things that we need to kind of just say, hey, we need help, and ask for it. One thing that I would like to talk about, that I hope that Tofu kind of oversees when she moves back home, is to strengthen our tourism, our Department of Tourism. Mm-hmm. I believe that Samoa has a lot to offer. There's so much beautiful things about Samoa. Sometimes you always talk about the negative stuff, but there's so much more to Samoa than just shady drug deals or our suicide rate or all the negatives. There's so many positives. Samoa is so beautiful. I just think we're not utilizing our land to the best of our abilities or utilizing the beauty of Samoa as a whole. Like, I haven't seen any jet ski rental areas. I haven't seen any water kind of theme parks or things of that sort. I mean, look at Upolu. They have a circus, that they run, and they utilize a lot of their exports, copra and coconut, and they make jewelry out of it. They're utilizing the land in order to kind of progress as a people.
Right.
We're so dependent on the U.S. that we forget that we can also lean on our own resources, and we can also be, a place where people want to flock to, and in doing so, it'll help out the economy for American Samoa, and it'll help out, just promoting Samoa in a better light. We're more than just stereotypes. We're more than just the negatives. We're a beautiful group of people, and a lot of people are they're so in love with us because of our open personalities and our love and our comedic ways. We just need to believe in ourselves in doing that. So that's where empowerment comes in. We need to empower younger generations, to say, hey, this is what we can do. Like, let's do it. Open up a karaoke spot, for the kids, or, I know Tofu's going to do a lot of stuff when she gets back to Samoa, because she's a busybody. So I know she's gonna want to kind of stay busy. So she'll probably create different things and get involved in a lot of different departments. And I can't wait for that. She's almost about to be able to retire, and then get ready, Samoa. Because when Tofu gets there, it's on and cracking. And I think one of the biggest things she's gonna help out with is your customer service. I hate calling like when I call Expo or something like Sheki Makopili or whatever, or any other bill place, man. They're hella rude. Like Mokwa rude. Oh, I'm just like, damn. I don't even want to call them anymore. Even like the hotels, they're not very courteous. You go to Bolu, man, that's like 180 right there. They're so nice and humble, and they want to carry your bags and do all this stuff, because that's important. It's those little things that make the experience well worth it. So I encourage everybody, when thinking about Samoa, to think outside the box, think ahead, think what we can give back to Samoa, because Samoa has given so much to us, even though we don't think they have. But I mean, Samoa beat the living shit out of me coming from Cali with like this Tagata Uli attitude or speech. I got beat the hell up by my uncles and my aunts, and it kind of raised me to be more humble and more respectful, and so I owe Samoa a lot. So the least that we can do is to kind of encourage each other to kind of get back to Samoa, and to just continue to pray for it, like our parents continue to pray for us.
Yep, that's so true. Let's read some comments on here, because there's some great comments. Hey, Stallone, I see you. All right, so reading on. Joanne, looking forward to the Friday jamming. All right, so I'll send that request to the husband. And we'll probably get into it next weekend. We'll see how it's going. Yeah, Gloria is right there with you. We're right there with you. And yep. Oh, thank you, Miss Watts. I appreciate it. All right. So true. Our people deserve so much more. That is correct. And Gloria, and that's from Joanne. Gloria said, I used the comments from them negative Nancy's be challenge and motivation to keep going. That is so true. All you can do is prove them wrong. Prove them wrong.
Amen, Gloria.
Yep. Gloria says Samoans are prideful too. Yes, we are. I'm not gonna say I'm not. I am very prideful. That's why I be representing. Like I was like, I'm not Hawaiian. I'm Samoan. And I'll tell you one time I'm Samoan. And then next time you tell me, oh, she's Hawaiian. Okay. It's a different convo. It's not a threat. It's a promise. So much. You see, that's very empowerment. I'm empowering you to know who I am and where I'm from. So much great programs they start at home and stop because they don't use the money wisely. Yep. That's so true. That's so true. That's from Joanne. Um, Gloria, we are taught to be strong from a very young age. So when faced with challenges, we try to push through because asking for help can be mistaken for you being weak. Oh my God, that is so true. That's so true. Thanks, Gloria. That's oh my God, you hit. Yep,
On the mark.
on the mark. And then Joanne, we need to open up a cultural center back home like they have in Hawaii. Yes, we do, because there's a lot of talented, people back home that can rotate. We can rotate. I think if I ever was to move back home, the perfect job for me will be yeah, tourism. Like Sam said, that's like the perfect job for me. Like I don't know what it is, but I think that'll be great. Wait, I saw this family on YouTube. I forgot their name. Have you seen this, Sam? They live in Samoa, these the Palangi people. And I love watching their YouTube because they be hiking to some places that I've never seen in my life. And I lived in American Samoa my whole life. I need to find their name and put it on here. I follow them faithfully because they do a lot of hiking. They were swimming in the waterfall, and their kids are dancing in like there's a Samoan dance group, and they went to this one place, and it had like actual people visiting Samoa. I think this is before border closed, and they were performing. It was like a little cultural center thing, and I told me, my husband, and kids was like, we gotta find out where that is because that's pretty cool that they do that. I'm gonna find that out. But yeah, check them out on YouTube. It's a I hate to say Palangi family, but it is a Palangi family that moved to American Samoa that has a YouTube channel. They are awesome. Fortupa said they need good investors. Yes, yes. Every time I come home and I have these great ideas, my mom goes, me kau kara kupe, ele kau kara longkwa, it's kupe. So yes, so when I go home, I'll take me some investors with me. And then, yep, parents and say, falong aku ay fay mai hokala. Yep. Oh, thank you, Joanne. I'll do great. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, all those comments are very true. And I agree 100%. Investors. So if you're out there, you're an investor, and are you from American Samoa? We need to like invest in some great programs. I think some great programs the United States have out here, that we can have back home, like places like the game cafe where they can go and, play checkers, or I know it's boring, but do karaoke or like arcade games and stuff like that. Keep them out of trouble and keep them occupied and stuff. So yes, having great investors and getting out of that mindset that we're not weak. We're human. We do at some point, you gotta put your pride aside. If you need help, you need to speak up and seek help. If you need help, you're not Superman. You can be, but you have emotions that we need to. There's like a lot of great potential things that you can do back home. And growing up in American Samoa back in the days, I love when those ships would come into the harbor, and like Samoa High School would get ready to go perform, and Leone, like all these high schools will perform. It was beautiful. Like the whole island was all clean, and they got the little shops going. And then right now, when I go home, I'm like, "Oka se va," but times have changed. I'm just talking about myself, because when I go home, I go and do chores on my mom's house. I'm not gonna go billy the whole village. But I'm saying, like, we could do better with the beautification of our villages, because now, like, if you want to take a picture of the ocean, you just want to come, like, go with your machete and cut down the tree so you can get a nice view
For real.
for your selfie. Yeah. Or for your pictures. Like, we just have to, like, nail down on that. Like, back in the days, they used to have, like, these programs that, like, they award the villages. People might say, "Oh, well, what time was that?" Come on, think back. Back in the days where they used to, like, on beautification of, like, who gets the best, and all the villages come out, start cutting the grass, start painting, like, words on their villages, on those barriers. It was, like, amazing. Now it's like, oh my God. But whatever. We're not going to dwell on that. Gloria, I'm glad Sam mentioned the whole drama about COVID money. Oh yeah. COVID money. The government received. Gloria, you're gonna be my guest on one of these shows. The government could have used the money on a lot of stuff, to include some programs. We all saw how our people got stuck out here with no help, support from the government. True. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful and thankful COVID never made it to our shores. But again, we can't neglect our people stuck out here. Mm-hmm. If we use the money wisely and on things the money was allocated for, I think it's more than enough to do a lot of stuff. Yes, that is very true. I feel so bad for the people that was stuck in Hawaii and stuck all over trying to get home. And I was like wondering, did they fire them, or did they lose their job while they're here? Like, if so, that's not right, because our government's not helping them. But yeah, that money could have went to that. Well, at first I was like, wait, we don't have a case back home. Why are we getting funds for it? But then I'm like, I can't speak, because there's I've been working through this whole pandemic and frontline, and then I'm like, do we get like hazard pay? But hey, whatever. That it is what it is, right? But that money could have went to help out the people that was stuck. At least try to get them home, and
that's what I think essentially it was for. It was for the island to prepare a plan, to come up with a plan on how they're going to bring either people back home or to get our medevac people out. They could have worked together with Hawaiian Air, to set a solid price where the government could have paid for the whole plane instead of our families overseas having to pay a certain amount. They could have linked up with the different hotels for quarantine to cover all expenses, because it's not their fault that they're stuck there. We're in a pandemic, so the fundings could have been utilized more efficiently. But we can't be mad about spoiled milk. It's already the best we can do now is just moving forward with whatever fundings that we have available to make sure that we're utilizing it correctly, and to get our people home, because there are mothers who have not been with their kids for a year, grandparents who haven't seen their families. There was a news reporter in Utah who was interviewing people who were sitting in front of one of the Polynesian restaurants in Utah. And I like, ula ko sign, and they're like, Samoa, I want to come home. And I'm like, man, I feel really bad because it's hard for us to be without our families because that's our heart,
Right.
you know? So if I was in a form of power, you know, in a place of power where I would, you know, have the opportunity to help somebody, I try my best to do so instead of trying to fill my pockets with, don't come for me, please. It's the Terramana talking, I promise.
And like I said, we're just talking because I'm pretty sure some of you sitting out there looking at the show, watching it, and is like thinking, you know, but then you want to be discouraging and go against what I'm saying or go against what Sam's saying. You know, if you got something to say, hey, post it on here. I'll read it. We'll talk about it. If you disagree, that's good too, because, you know, we're not saying what we're saying is correct. This is what we see. You know, this is what we hear. And again, perception is reality. So if you think that that's not right, that they have no place to talk about it. I'm Samoan. I grew up from American Samoa. So did Sam. So we have every right because we want our island to be successful and move forward. You know, we're empowering our people back home and whoever's listening to make sure we do the right thing, you know. Yes. Oh, thank you, Futupe. Yes, I figured this would be a great topic, and you know, I was talking to Sam and my husband, and we had like this great talk last night about on TikTok, right? On TikTok, we were well, my husband was talking to a couple on TikTok. They were on live and they were talking. They had great conversations going back and forth. And then here comes Negative Nancy, came on and just dropped a joke. Like, where did you come from? And what was your point of even saying what you said? So I told him, hey, I'm gonna let you for, like, don't mind him. Like, I don't know, just disregard. And then I said, just log off. It's done. You know, any good thing, it always has to have that one person come in and just open their mouth. Like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And just like learn from people. So, and then we were, you know, nowadays social media is a thing. And I love TikTok because I learned a lot of great things on there. But there was this half African American, I'm going to clarify, half African American, half Samoan guy. He touched base on the word Meauli. And we were talking about that last night. And Sam had great points, which I'm going to pass it to him to talk about because he tells it better than I could. But me, my husband, and Sam, we're talking about this TikTok. And he said that he doesn't appreciate when people will call him Meauli, because if you translate that to English, that's a black thing, right? Male is the thing, and Uli is black, versus Palangi is white. You know, it's proper. So he said, moving on, I prefer to be addressed Tagata Uli, you know, somebody black. So and Sam went in on the topic, and it was so amazing. So I'm gonna pass it on to Sam to like share his thoughts on this.
Okay. The reason why I'm so adamant or so invested in conversations like that is because I have nieces and nephews who are half black and half Samoan. I have cousins who are the same. In the airline industry, as we all know, when dealing with people with disability or dealing with people, you recognize the person before you recognize the disability. Same goes with people. You recognize the person before you recognize the ethnicity. So you recognize that they're a person, they're human, and then you say, what type of human? They're a black human, or they're a white human, or they're a Samoan. And just to clarify, white is not an ethnicity. White is just white. there's no culture in it. There's nothing. Ethnicity, you have to have a culture attached to it. So they're either, a person from London or from England or from Scotland or from whatever. When you talk about Black people, when you strip away a culture, thousands of years of culture away from them, they have to be identified as Black because they really don't have a correct tie to where they come from. It was stripped from them. So that's why they can be called Black. You can have Black pride, but you cannot have white pride because white is not an ethnicity. And they still have ownership to where they come from and who they are. So we'll end with that. Then it went over to the N word. No one has a right to that word except for Black people, point blank. It's our job as Samoans and as Polynesians to encourage people to stray away from using the N word. Just like there are other derogatory words that are utilized to recognize other people of different ethnicities, those have disappeared because the empowerment of people saying, hey, we don't like that word no more, just throw it away. There's a lot of different words in the dictionaries you can grab and use to describe a person. The N word, we're trying to cut it. I encourage you guys, get rid of that word. Now, the word Meauli. Meauli came from colonizers. People who came to the islands and said, Black is evil, Black is wrong. We're going to call this thing a thing. We're going to make them a thing. Because like TikTok says, a lot of people from TikTok, they'll say, oh, Tagata Sainga, Tagata Yapangi, Tagata Falangi. Like, they're people from and their origin. So this is Tagata Falangi, person from France, or a French person. So that's a Frenchman. Now you're going to say Meauli? Like, nah, we're not doing that. And it's great that this came up because for years and years, it was a norm for us. Like when I was little, I said Meauli all the time because that's what was taught to us.
Yeah. Not
realizing that if we're really true to our culture and true to being Samoan, we're first always about respect. And how can we be about respect if we're calling our brothers and sisters of the Black diaspora Meauli? They're not Meauli, they're Tagata Uli. They are a person who is Black. Right. Now, some Black people, they might not want to identify as African American. Some Black people do. Some people say they're from Jamaica or from the Caribbean, and some people don't. So just to be respectful, you just say Black. A person who is Black. Or you recognize the human portion, and then you say what type of human they are. They are Black. They are a person of color. They are Black. They are not a colored person. They are a person of color. You recognize the individual. So a lot of people in TikTok, especially a lot of the Afkasis who are there, who are, Afa Tagata Uli and of Samoa, that's their main points that they bring up. That we need to be the change. It's not Black people's problem to solve. It's us. For Samoans, the way that we can help is to make sure that we're using Tagata Uli instead of Meauli. We're not stripping the culture away because Meauli was never cultural because it was never of respect. And it was first taught by colonizers. Yeah. The first thing that colonizers did when they came is they said that we were savages because of our skin tone. The darker you were, the more savage you were. And that's facts. And that's still facts till today. That's why they say Asosa Pai Pai, because everything that's white is angelic and spiritual. When they talk about Samoa before the period where Christianity came in, they call it, Laso Pongsa, like the dark times of Samoa, when God was not present. But we had gods. We had mythology that, from where we came from, who we were. It was colonizers that came in and said, you know what, that's all wrong. There's one God, and Black is wrong and white is right. Right. And that's facts. Now, I'm Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Holy Scripture. Everything's good in that aspect, but I'm also Samoan as well. So you try to find the balance in everything, and you try to empower people. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And with the topic that Tofu and Clark was talking about yesterday, I was very, very, very adamant about talking about that because my nieces and nephews, some of them are young. They can't speak for themselves. So at least I can be there to speak on their behalf. And I can say, like, Teez, ele oe, Te Meauli, or the Tagata Uli, or the Te Meauli.
Yeah.
And then Clark says he's a Usa Uli. So, so hey, bigs up to Clark. That's my dog.
Yeah.
But thank you, Tofu, for bringing that up. And I just anybody who's watching this or who will watch in the future, I do hope that we start to make this minor correction that has nothing to do with our culture, but just political correctness.
Yep.
And just honoring the person before anything else, and saying like, or the Tagata Uli, or man, they got a name.
Yeah.
Just call them by their name.
Right.
Simple as that. Simple as that. But thank you so much for checking out.
Hey, you hit the nail right on the head. That is, when I heard that and we talked about it, I was like, I never thought of it. I never looked at it that way. I never thought about it that way. I just roll with it. When I was teaching him Samoan, he's like, so what do you call me? I said, Meauli. And then fast forward 19 years later, since we've been married, and thanks TikTok, I'm gonna find this guy too. We're gonna bring him on. Here. Like, hey, let's talk about this, because my kids are half Tagata Uli, half Samoan, and I want them to because we're gonna teach them that the word Meauli doesn't exist in our vocabulary moving forward. So we're gonna teach them like Tagata Uli, and if somebody says something, we're gonna empower them to stand up and say, I'm not a Meauli, I'm a Tagata Uli, and just keep that movement going. So I encourage you, if you're out there and you marry outside the race, which that's another topic we're going to talk about, not tonight, but it's going to be on Let's Talk with Miss Teez. We're going to talk about marriages and kids, start bringing our kids on and say what their take is on the topic, on different topic, because, I hate for my kids to go to Samoa and they get treated different, which all because they're mixed, they're not full Samoan, or they grew up off island versus growing up in American Samoa. I want them to, I'm proud, okay, so when they were in Tennessee, they were going to school in Tennessee, paperwork came home, right? For my oldest son. Paperwork came home. When I filled out the paperwork, I marked African American, I put other, and then I put Pacific Islander, and then there's a line on there, I put Samoan. And then I marked, African American ethnicity. So paperwork came home. Paperwork was not what I marked, and that rubs me the wrong way. It was marked, that he was Caucasian, because they looked at him and just made their own assumption. So I went to the school and I need these paperwork changed like today. And I need you to acknowledge both my ethnicity and my husband's ethnicity. You're not going to mark him because that's what you see. Oh, we're so sorry. It must be a system glitch. Okay, well, then your system glitch needs to be fixed. So, now, like, when paperwork come home, I be watching that like a hawk. Like, I make sure my kids acknowledge both my side and both their dad's side. It's respect. I was brought up to be respect, and that's my pet peeve. Like, I can tolerate anything, I just cannot tolerate disrespectful, like people being disrespect to one another. And then I hate when people say, hate is a bad word, I dislike when people say that you're being disrespectful, but yet your mouth, what just came out of your mouth is not any better. So we need to start empowering one another to choose our words. And you need to make sure that if you have nothing nice to say, you need to make sure you zip it, or you find something. There's a way to communicate without hurting somebody's feelings. There's a way to communicate that you can get your message across without being disrespectful. So I thank you, Sam, for elaborating on that topic, and for understanding, where we were coming from when we talked about it last night. And Clark goes home every time. We've been married 19 years. He's gone home more than a lot of Samoan people. Some people I've spoke to, like, when was the last time you went home? Well, I left home 20 years ago and I never looked back. Okay. And they make it sound like it's something bad. Like, why wouldn't you want to go home and visit? Nah, when I left, I told myself I was never going to look back. Well, good for you. But then you're the same person that comes on here and talk about, what goes on back home. There's a shame. Okay, if you're not doing anything about it, let's not talk about it, right? So I just want to make sure that we need to stop the discouragement and start empowering one another. And I do the same thing in my career. Like, when I travel for business and I see Polynesians, especially my Samoans, I love having conversations with them and I talk to them. So, like, when I get to Dallas and I see them, I'm like, oh, hey. And I speak to them. Same in Phoenix or, California. There's a lot of them that works for the airline, that works for our company. And I push them. I'm like, Sully, I seen you working the same position. Why can't you just grow? And you know what they tell me? They're like, no, no, you go ahead. You're doing great. We don't want the headache. And I'm like, so you like to stay stagnant? I just like to come, do my job, and go home. I don't want to deal with no headache. I don't want to deal with babysitting. So I encourage them. I'm like, it's not about babysitting. It's not about that. It's about growing. Like, where do you see yourself? Are you see yourself doing the same thing for the rest of your life at the company? And a lot of them say, yeah. I didn't join this business for that. I joined it for the flight benefits. And I'm like, okay, but I still encourage them. And believe it or not, I look on Facebook and some of them are probably going to watch this video. That conversation, probably like 7-8 years ago, they weren't looking to be managers, looking to be supervisors. If you go to Phoenix, some of them I spoke to, they're supervisors on the ramp, they're managers in Phoenix. So, think about it. If you have the opportunity to mentor somebody or share your knowledge or share your experience, please do that. I encourage you to do that. Empower somebody. And I put that on my post on Thursday. I was feeling that moment where I wanted to, like, put a positive message out there for people that on Facebook. It's like, when you least expect it, people watch you. People follow you. They won't tell you, hey, thanks, because of you, I'm doing this. But their action speaks louder than words. Go on Facebook, you see what they're doing. I'm like, I made a difference. Use your platform to empower somebody else to do better and be a better person than they were yesterday, and just keep moving. Surround yourself with positive people going in the same direction that you're going. If you're heading in a direction to grow professionally or grow with your family and just have, do great things, then that's what you need to do. But complaining about it and being negative Nancy is not going to solve your problems. You need to do something about your situation so you can be a better person. Stop hating. You hating on the person on Facebook, or hating on your neighbor, or hating that, you know what, your neighbor's going to be someone tomorrow and you're still stuck in your ways because you don't want to change. And sometimes you got to humble. I admire people, and we teach this to our kids. You got to be humble, because it doesn't matter if you're pretty in the face, but if your attitude is nasty, no, all that is wiped out. So I encourage you to be humble, be respectful, be nice, and choose your words and empower somebody. Empowerment is the movement I'm trying to push people to go towards, not discouragement. That's not what we're going to do. That's not what we're going to do. Hey, Betty. Let me go through some chats and try and make sure I didn't miss anybody. Gloria, hi Lisa. Sorry I missed it earlier. Our topic today is empowerment, not discouragement. I agree. Choose your words correctly. That is so true. Tupa said, your voice makes a big difference. Proud of you all. Keep on doing what you're doing. Oh, thank you. We try, you know. And I'm in the same boat with you. Yes. Yes. Awesome topic tonight. Yes, Gloria. Tupa says, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
And then before Christianity, they said we were living in the dark. Yep, that's what he said. We don't say mea pai pai or sainga.
Okay,
Yep.
Sorry, my bad. My family's from England. Sorry.
You're welcome, Gloria. I just felt like it was a topic that needed to be talked about and taught. You know, amen. It's color, no culture. Yep. If so, I like his contact. And is this guy in Hawaii who was raised in Samoa? I have to get the information. I'll get back. We'll parking lot that. I'll get back to you on that. He is in the military, and I think he grew up in California, I think. Don't quote me on it. But I'll find out who this TikTok guy is, and I'll share the information, Glorious, and that way. But I'm also find him and bring him on the show so he can talk about, because he had some, like, I love when Clark brought it to my attention. I love watching it because he teaches the Samoan language. He teaches it on his TikTok, and then he has a book about the language, and my husband is able to relate to it, and he's learning from his material, and he's learning from him on just by listening to him. And I love, I'm horrible for not teaching. I'm going to just throw it out there. I'm horrible for not teaching my husband and kids Samoan, because I would say, we go Samoan every year. You should know how to speak the language by now, but it's my responsibility. But hey, kudos to me, because I taught my husband. I don't teach. That's not teach. I educate my husband and on the culture. So, I always tell, I gotta say this to somebody before in my family. I said, if you're gonna marry outside the race, you need to learn to educate your significant other on what is expected when you marry you marry you marry the whole family. So you need to tell that, not get over here and your husband is shocked that we have falavlaves. No, that is your job as a Samoan. Yeah. Yeah, so it's your job to explain to your husband. They don't know that, so I love that my husband respects and loves my culture. I love that, like, when he goes home, he loves American Samoa, so he's looking forward to moving home. So I love the fact that he loves, and I love the fact that he takes care of my family, and he takes care of my mom, and he loves my siblings and my nieces and nephews. So I'm blessed. So please make sure you do that. You educate your significant other. If they never been to Samoa before, it's the first time you guys got married, please make sure to educate, share your knowledge. All right. Hey, Betty. Love your empowerment, sharing. We all need to empower one another. That is so true. Yes, yes, yes. So if you're watching this and you feel like this message needs to be shared, please feel free to share. And, we might hit somebody that really needs to hear this. And we just need to empower one another. That's my biggest thing. And I'm glad my cousin Sam is able to join me and talk about this. What's your take? You got something you wanna share? Or you good?
Yeah, well, just about on empowerment. It disappeared.
Wait.
It's Stallones Comment.
Right there. Malo
Huwag
si
ang
Lava.
puri Stallone.
Stallone. Oh my God, Stallone. Like, sorry. So, wasasamaya, Stallone, sasamaya. Yeah. Speak on Stallone's topics. Speak on Stallone's mangaku.
I can't see it. It disappeared.
Did it?
Yeah. Well, you probably can see it. I can't for some
Wait,
reason.
I'm scrolling.
You can touch.
Wania wala e whaamalu si aile ngana Samoa i o tātou whānau a wā wa malo si lava suinga whaapirtania be o telefoni ko mi computer. Oh really? I sound like those like announcers.
Computer.
Facebook, etc. etc.
Yeah, malo Stallone. Ah, kafangawa.
Whānau o ma.
I mean, originally the Samoan language was kind of given to the pastors, you know, and to the churches. When they have Aonga Samoa, you know, kids will go there after school every day. Aonga Samoa, boom, done. And then to continue on with that, then you speak Samoa with your parents and family. Me coming from the U.S. moving to Samoa, I understood it, but I didn't know how to speak it. So it was hard. It was a hard transition, but I went to Aonga Samoa. I got to talk with my cousins who forced me to, you know, say certain words. And I get ma at times. Like, I didn't want to sound stupid. I still sound stupid speaking Samoan, but now I just don't care anymore. You know, I'll say it, and then if they can correct me, you know, that's empowerment because they're helping me out. You know, when I say a sentence wrong, if I'm missing an adverb, an adjective, an a, or e, whatever, that all matters. So it's just ensuring that to keep the language alive, we need to look for programs that are available for our kids, especially online courses. There's a lot of online courses available to us than there was, you know, when I was in Samoa. There's one that's on Instagram and it's free. Every Sunday they do a Zoom call. You can join in for free. They go through, you know, basic B, then going through, you know, simple sentences, sentence structures, things like grammar, things of that sort. So it's just, and there's a lot of programs like in New Zealand and stuff like that that's online that you can log into. Just finding those programs that are available and empowering those who are in the U.S. to start schools like that. There's a lot of Jewish schools in the U.S. where kids will go over there to learn Hebrew and learn about their cultures. We can do the same thing. There's a school that's in Utah, I believe, that it's K through 12, and half of the courses are taught in native languages, in native tongues, and it's up to whichever language you want to learn. So there are programs out there. We just need to be able to utilize them and to kind of promote it within our families. Because what's taught to us at a young age is that the Samoan language is not important if you want to succeed in life. It's all about English. Learn English so that you can be successful. Not realizing when you strip a person of their language and of their culture, there's no success there. Yeah. Because you just lost the essence of who the individual is. And yeah, so the school's called Mana Academy, the one that's in Utah. And man, those kids are amazing. Those kids are awesome. So we need to realize that our past and our ancestor line needs to stay intact in order for us to move forward. We need to know where we came from in order to know where we're going. And that includes language, culture, and all that jazz. So talk with your kids, you know, say that knowing Samoan language, it matters. It counts. It's important. It's the way that we can share our stories and our mythology and our values in the correct manner. Because there are Samoan words that don't translate well into English and vice versa. So it's important that you get the original text of it and that we keep on promoting and perpetuating our culture as such.
Yeah. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you, Betty, for the information. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's amazing. My aunt Becca, Amali Ata, I always mess up her name. In Hawaii, she has a Samoan program that she pushes online. So check her out on there. I'll put her on list. Yeah, she does that. I watch her, and then when my aunt Mutaitusi was alive, she was teaching at the university at UH and the Samoa, and she always great, very intelligent woman. You know, she talks to us. Yes, when she was alive, she talked to us, and she'll correct us. And you know, just I'm pretty sure you have family that can share their knowledge with you. But that, like Sam said, there's a lot of program now with social media. We can use our social media to put it to good use, and you can learn. Like your telephone, you can Google some Samoan YouTube videos that you can watch. There's a lot of, we have access and tools to plenty of material that can, there's no reason why anybody should say they don't know the language or the culture, you know. Oh, yes. Oh, more. Yep, that's my aunt. She is missed. If she was alive, she would be 100 years old today. I mean, not today personally, but this year she would have been 100 years old. Well, look at the family. They're back from laser tag.
Laser tag. One light I like to shed for our Samoan people, it's the most simplest things that we can do. And the first simple thing that we can do is, if you have a Samoan name, teach people how to pronounce it correctly.
Yes.
That is one of my pet peeves. When I was working on the dock, I had two longshoremen dudes, one named Satele, one named Fonoti. They didn't respond to that, and they're older than me. They're like 40 to 50 years old. I have to say Fonoti and Satele, and I'm like, I'm not calling you by that because that's not your name. Put some respect on it. And I taught everybody how to say their name. The best thing you can do is teach people how to pronounce your name first, and then represent where you come from. If they don't know where you come from, pull up a map.
Yeah.
Tell them where you from.
Yeah.
Tell them the flight route.
Very true. That's so true.
Samoan name. Yeah, Stallones. Yeah, Malikiri up on
Like, how many ways can you say tofola? It's so funny. Yep. Let me go to some comments. I want to make sure I try to hit up everybody's comment. I didn't forget you. Great stuff. Great stuff. Oh, Hannah. Hi, Hannah. She said, hello, my airline usos.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by Termano. The Rock, if you're watching,
yeah.
I'll do sponsorship push.
And Betty said, yes. Oh, what's her favorite teacher? Salome. I saw Samoan name. Surely. Then you know what? If you don't have a Samoan name, you make up a name. So my husband's name is Sila Roca. That's a Samoan name that we made up. I didn't make it up. Someone else has credit, but it's Clark spelled in Samoa without the letter C, because we don't have the C in our letter. So it's S-I for the C. And then La, A, Ro, Ga. So that's how you spell Clark in Samoa, Sila Roca. So for those of you that's like, I thought their last name is Clark. Yeah, it is Clark. Spell Clark in Samoan, and then you got it. It's called Sila Roca. So
like on the Roca.
On that Roca.
Fire.
So yeah, great talk today. Great topic. I enjoyed it. Thank you everybody that took the moment to come on and listen to what we were talking about. And our topic today was empowerment, not discouragement. So tune in next Saturday. I was going to talk about interracial couple. Right, babe, is that the topic? Interracial couple? Yep. We're going to do interracial couple. So I'm going to reach out to everybody that I know. And if you want to be part of it, let me know. Laura's on here, so I should bring Savai Laura on.
Hey, Laura.
Yeah. Hi, Laura. Congratulations on the new house.
Nice, our house. Thank you. Where's my room at? Hey, so what is... Oh.
One thing.
Okay, so to end it off with empowerment or encouragement, empowerment, not discouragement, I just kind of wanted to share my little story of me and Topher work for the same industry. We're both part of the airline family. And for the most part, 1/3 of my career was spent on the ground as a frontliner, working ramp and different departments. And then from there, agents would tell me like, you should move up. They encouraged me to move up. I didn't want to. I was like, I'm cool here. Like what Tofu said, like some of us just like the labor and just to go home. But a lot of agents pushed me forward because we had crappy management at that time. And they said, we want to see change, and we only think that we can change if you step up and take those positions. So I did that for them. And then I came to my own. I was like, man, this is pretty cool. I like it. Then from there, I moved to Boston to continue on with my career path. And there was just a lot of times where a lot of the choices that I made were for the agents, and management didn't want us to have that relationship. They were so against managerial and frontliner relationships. Like, oh, they're working together. Oh man, that's not how it's supposed to be. Like they wanted to be like a strict authority kind of person. It's like, no, if you want to get stuff done, you respect people and you give them the tools that they need in order to do the job. Well, they didn't like that. So I had a conversation with my sister, and she was telling me, hey, if you want to be the change you want to see in the company or in your job, you got to be the boss. So I was like, okay, bet, challenge. So I was like, oh, I need to be a GM. Tough as a GM. So at the time, I was just like a rep manager or a customer service manager. I only managed certain departments, but I never was a manager for the whole operation, for the whole station. And with Tofu, with having her experience, I was able to link up with her while I was doing my cross-country drive around the East Coast while I was still applying for GM positions. And we had a great conversation at our house during Karaoke Friday.
Sila Roca Karaoke.
Sila Roca Karaoke Friday kind of helped me. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Tofu, because if it wasn't for my agents in Hawaii, if it wasn't for my sister pushing me to better myself, and it wasn't for her words of encouragement and trying to push me and telling me where I should draw boundaries and giving me all her advice about her experiences from her different stations and dealing with different upper managers and stuff like that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I am at a station where there's only 2 positions that are above me. So, and my regional, he gives me full realm. I can do whatever, and he trusts me enough in order to run my station, and I think we're doing a great job. And none of this would have happened if I didn't have these people who empowered me, especially, to my sister, Shinoi, thank you so much. I love you, sis. And then especially to my cousin, Tofu. That talk meant more than you ever know. And I really appreciate that. And I think that's the importance of empowering people, telling people what their worth is, because sometimes you just need a little hint of validation, even though no one should ever validate except for you and God. Right? You don't need the validation from anybody else, but it's nice to hear that, and it's nice to see that people see you. Yeah. And Tofu saw me. She knew what I was going through because she's been in the same boat. She knows Tofu has a stronger heart than I do. She can be very strict. I'm just like a big old blob of I love you and let's just kind of kumbaya together. So she's taught me how to say no at times. She's taught me how to toughen up a little bit when it has to do with operations, and it's made me so much better, where I'm able to deliver the same message in a tone where it's not as authoritative, but it's just coming from a place of respect. People know that I'm coming from a place of respect, but it's like, this is the way it's going to go. That's it. No questions. So I don't get that. And I love that. And none of this would have happened without that conversation. And I still have continued conversations with Tofu. Like if I have issues with different audits or financial stuff on how to do different things, even though we work for different carriers, it's pretty much the same language and how we operate. So I'm so blessed that I have this source and this mean of function. And I love Karaoke Fridays. I'm an avid watcher, and I joined in like on one of them, and it's not my career path, so I will just continue to watch from afar. But to the Siloka family, thank you so much, cousin, for everything that you've done for me, and I really do appreciate it. And I hope that your platform continues to speak volumes, not only to our people on Pacifico, but to all of your viewers who watch, which I know you have a lot of people from the airline industry who watch as well. And to all our frontliners that are watching, man, bigs up to you. Thank you so much for getting those planes out on time, on the line all the time. And just to all our families who are watching as well, we love you guys so much, and we empower you to promote change. We empower you to do what's right. We empower you to we lift you up in prayer. You are in our continued prayers. We wish nothing but the best for you, and we hope that you live a life of servitude and providing for people who need the help. And just know that, like Sister Gloria says, she said, weakness is not, helping or receiving assistance is not a sign of weakness, even though it seems to be like that. Like if you ask for help, well, that's a sign of weakness. It's not. It's one of the strongest things that you can do as an individual is to ask for help when you need it. So if you need help with all the different topics that we kind of spoke on today, from government matters to mental health, to career paths, to the technicality of how we introduce people as titles. So today's like Tagata Uli. Put it in your vocab. Stick it in your head.
That's a vocab.
So just make sure that you practice that word every day. I slipped today when I first said it. I almost said Uli, but I corrected myself. And we're not perfect. We're gonna slip once in a while, but just keep on going at it and keep on uplifting people and keep on encouraging others. Because don't be a Debbie Downer. Debbie Downer suck. Like como Stallone. Nah. Jokes, Stallone. Nah, but thank you so much for the platform, sister. Thank you so much.
All my love. You're welcome. Thank you, Sam. That was so sweet of you. All right, so let's go to some topic and then I'll wrap it up. Cousin Law says hi.
Hey, Law.
Tupe Watts says, enjoy you guys. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama. Come by and visit. Love you. Yep. Sam will be the first one to visit.
Yeah.
And then Law said, hey, fam. Thank you, Brother Sam. And Sis Tofu for sharing your experience with us. Love you both. We love you too.
Love you too, Law.
And then Hannah said, yes, she is an amazing mentor for Samoan leaders. I appreciate you. So, thank you, Hannah. I try. And then Tupa, great wisdom, Sam. And then Law says, Tofu has been a strong and caring person and leader. I'm lucky to have her as family. Oh, thank you, sis. Yeah. I'm lucky to have you guys in my family too. And I grew up with Law. She was like the oldest sister I never had. So I look up to you too, sis. Oh, Stallone, go AA. Oh my God.
Sky West. Yes. Sky Easy.
And then Law said, love you, Sam. What was the saying again? She's saying, what is the saying again?
Especially you, Law. Especially you. And she said, oh, that's her new title.
Yeah. But yeah, you're welcome, Sam. And, everybody out there knows me. I just try to share my knowledge and I try to empower people. I want to see people succeed. That's just my goal. And I'm glad, and I share my experience. It's not easy getting to where I am. And it's a lot of hard work. But you know what? People take me wrong because I'm very firm and direct. So then people think that I'm, the capital B, or I'm just rude, but I'm not rude. I'm just direct and I'm by the book. And I've worked for some phenomenal managers that have molded me in my profession to where they teach me and then I try to teach someone else. And don't get me wrong, I've worked for some poor leadership, but I learned from that. What they did, I told myself I would not do, and I would change the course of how I lead. So don't let your bad managers discourage you. Learn from what they did and think, what would they do? Then do the opposite. But if you have a great mentor and great manager, like right now, my regional boss, she's awesome. Like whenever I need something, she's always there. If she doesn't know it, she'll say, well, let me find out and get back to you. So I do the same thing to my team. So I won't tell them, I don't know the answer, go find it. I'll tell them, like, did you look it up? Okay, well, you look it up and I'll look it up too. And then we'll compare notes, see, you know, which one is effective, and then we will make sure we comply with it. So you got to be, if you're in a leadership position, you need to lead. You need to be there for your team. You need to support. You don't need to like use that power to talk down to people or like, you know, be someone different. You were given the position because of something you did right. So you need to make sure you live up to that title and keep your head up and be proud of that in that position and be proud of your team. That's why I'm always, whatever station I'm in, I represent, because I work for the best team. No matter what station I'm in, they're the best team in the business. And on time is my goal. All right. Well, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you, Sam, for taking the time out to talk to me and sharing your knowledge and helping me with this empowerment, not discouragement. And then next, you know, I'm gonna use the people in my life that because I am surrounded by great, smart people. So if I call you out, like, hey, you know, on the side, like, why don't you help me on my show? Why don't you come on and talk to me? It's because I know that you will make this show great. You are someone that I want. You're great to me, so I want the people out there to be great, and I want them to learn from you. So stay tuned for my next Let's Talk with Miss Teez next Saturday. I'm not going to put time on it because, like, I'm not committed to this. I did not sign a contract to start at 6 or start at 7. So
good.
when I get a moment, I'm gonna pop in, and then, you know, I'll bring in my peeps, and we're gonna talk, and we're gonna have a good old time. And if like all these comments you put in, I'm gonna share because you do provide some valid, great points. Oh, thank you, Stallones. Feel too good said, you guys are great leaders and always remember to humble yourself. Yes, humble. Amen. We will definitely keep that to mind. Great advice. Thank you. And we also want to share that advice to everybody else. All right. I'm out from Let's Talk with Miss Teez. Sam is out. You guys have a great evening. Hopefully you share this live. I hope that you remember our vocabulary is Tagata Uli. No more Meauli, Tagata Uli. So if you say it and I give you a stink look, that's because of the word that we're going to be using and we're not going to use. All right, so share. Like, love. I'm out. Sam, you out?
Peace out.
All right, peace out. Bye.
Hey, you guys gonna do karaoke right now?
I'm gonna have to talk to the CEO of Sila Roca Karaoke and get back to you, because we over here at the hotel. I don't think they'll probably kick us out if we're too loud on karaoke.
I know. He be getting hella loud too.
Right.
Oh, good.
So, well, I'll get back to you guys on that. I know you guys been talking about missing the karaoke, but I'll post it out. All right. Bye.
Bye.